I'm here with Michal Foyer, who is on the Gaza border with a group of mothers and women, a new coalition that was recently formed, bringing together women and mothers, especially mothers, who are against the war. Michal, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for
Thank you.
chatting with me today. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your organization and how it was formed.
Well, the organization that I personally am coming from here is Women in the Front, Imot B'Chazit, which started even before the 7th of October, fighting for an equality in the draft. Okay. And then along came the 7th of October, and we felt it even more so because we have soldiers that are fighting, risking their lives and fighting, 400, 500, 600 days in this war. And at the same time, the government is trying to give an exemption to a whole sector of the population, okay, the Orthodox religious. That's basically the sentiment of the organization that I personally represent. But specifically now we formed a coalition of women and mothers from the whole protest movement, basically calling for an end to the war and the return of all the hostages. For several reasons. Obviously, we think that this is the only way we're going to get back the hostages is through a deal. And the only way that Hamas is going to make a deal is if we end the war. On top of that, we feel that the soldiers that are dying now, sacrificing their lives in this war for purely political reasons, and we're not willing to have it keep going. We feel very strongly that this war is now, not just now, for many months now, is being fought for solely political reasons, for this government to stay intact, and we're not willing to risk our children in this political war.
To save Bibi's tush. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Okay.
we, it's a very sensitive issue, but most of us also feel that what is happening in Gaza is also problematic. We don't feel that represents the Jewish people. We don't want it to represent Israel and the Israeli people. I personally don't think that there is intentional starvation there, but I think that there is a humanitarian crisis, and this war just has to stop for so many different reasons. Just has to end.
Mm-hmm. So this week you all decided to set up camp on the Gaza border. That's where we're talking from?
Yes.
Where are you?
We're in a forest called the Vermilion. It's named after Jonathan Vermilion. It's very, very close to the border. In fact, the second evening here, there was a march towards the border, and some of the women got overly excited, and we just headed straight for the border. We actually reached the border. I triggered all the units in the area, and it was quite a bit of action. So we are literally on the border. You can hear the booms all the time. It's very disconcerting.
Yeah. And how does that make you feel when you're hearing those booms?
Well, like I said, I'm from Haifa, and we had a year war where we were fired upon, directly from the north. There was a direct hit just a street away from us. So it's not pleasant at all. For 20 years, Gaza has been firing rockets at settlements and kibbutzim along the border. Unfortunately, the government never really did anything about it. We just sort of normalized the whole situation.
The government encouraged it. Bibi's government gave Hamas money, tons and tons of money via Qatar in order to.
Obviously, yes.
He did it.
Yes, absolutely.
He made it happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. But on top of that, also nothing was done when they actually fired rockets on settlements in Israel.
Yeah.
And, you sort of get a taste of what these people have been living with for years. You hear the booms all the time, and having gone just now through the war in the north, it's very unsettling.
Basically, this week, the coalition decided to call for an emergency campaign. A lot of groups this week are calling for an emergency campaign, lots of protests around the country. What makes this moment feel like so urgent to you?
Well, we had really high hopes when Bibi went to the States. We were sure that Trump would pressure him into ending this war. And it didn't happen. I really don't have an explanation for Trump's motives either. I really can't explain what motivates him, what causes him to flip, from one opinion one day to another opinion the next day. But basically, our hopes were dashed. Bibi came back, and there was no end of the war and no hostage release. And then, the videos were released, the videos of the two hostages. It just shook everybody here. I mean, it's not like we don't know what they're going through, but to see it in front of your face, it's awful.
Right.
It's awful, and we're just faced with a government that's heartless, really heartless. I mean, you have ministers in the government actually actively calling to not see these videos, to not have it affect them, to be able to sleep at night, things like that. It's ridiculous. It's just a heartless,
they shut up
cruel
hostage
government.
families. They kick out. They yell at hostage family members. They kick them out of the Knesset. They talk to them
absolutely. Listen, we've been Bibi has been marketing this slogan, "Beyachad nenatzeach," together we'll win, from the beginning of the war. And obviously, I don't mean it the same way he does, because for me, habeyachad, the togetherness, is to see all my brothers and sisters come back from Gaza. That's the together that I'm concerned with. I personally don't have a family member there, but it could so easily have been any of us. I have a son who, at the time, October 7th, was in his draft, serving in the army. And he was this close to being in the Nova Music Festival that weekend. It was a holiday, and that weekend he was home, and he could have easily been at the Nova Festival. I have two more children who are also combat soldiers, and it just could have been any one of us. And they're at an age that if it had been them, they would still be there.
So it feels really personal to you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, these are people that we didn't know them at all prior to October 7th. And today, everyone here, everyone that cares about them can tell you their names, can tell you their hobbies, can tell you their family members, can tell you so much about them. They literally feel like our own family members.
Yeah. What do you think mothers bring to the table here in terms of talking about this war?
We're fierce. I'll show you a tattoo that I had. Can you see the tattoo of a lioness licking her cub? I had that done. Wow. I had that done a few months ago as a reminder. I'm a lioness protecting my cubs. There's nothing fiercer in nature than a mother protecting her children. And that's really what we bring. I mean, we're strong, we are determined, and we've reached really a breaking point. I mean, enough is enough. I think this war should end for many reasons. Okay? One of them, absolutely, is the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. And I absolutely want to have peace with them. I think that there's no choice but to have a two-state solution. I think it will take a long time. It will include baby steps of rehabilitating trust and ensuring our security and our safety. But I'm willing to allow for the definite possibility that there are Palestinians who also want peace, who want to be rid of Hamas.
Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on now behind you? Like, I hear some voices.
Yeah, I'll turn the camera around for a second.
Yeah. I mean, it's about 45 degrees Celsius, no? I mean, it's super
right
hot
now
today.
It's 34. Earlier today was 38. Yeah. And we've been sitting through all that. And talking for most of the day. We had here a group of Arab women who are against violence, and they also joined in the conversation for a short period. I wish they'd stayed longer, but I understood they had a long bus ride home, so they left.
How was that conversation? What did you talk about?
It doesn't even matter. I think it's really important to hear their voices. We don't hear enough of their voices. We don't take into consideration enough their voices. I'm a healthcare worker, and on my staff, I have two Arabs. who I'm on very, very close terms with. I've known them for years. And one of them we set up for next Sunday evening to sit for a cup of coffee and just talk, because I think it's really, really difficult to be an Arab Israeli in today's atmosphere and under this government. And I just really I want to know. I want to hear from her. I want her to know that there's somebody who's interested in hearing her voice. And
So what's next for your group for the rest of the week till
well,
Sunday? Let's
it
say
ends
Sunday's a big.
tonight. We had a huge ceremony the first night with hundreds of people in a monument for Tatzpitaniot, the observation soldiers that were killed in Nachal Oz. So there's a monument not far from here. There was a huge ceremony there. And we had here parliament members, we had ex-generals, we had protest leaders throughout all these days, coming for basically talks and to talk and to listen and to be heard and so forth. And we want to, we've taken notes, we've heard many opinions, and we have to now decide what the next step is. But like I said, we reached the border. We reached the border in Gaza. All the army units came out to greet us. But we really feel like it's time for action. The talking and the protesting is not leading us anywhere for now.
Yeah. Good luck with all of that. Good luck.
Thank you.
I really hope you're all successful. Thank you for doing that. As a
Thank
mother
you.
myself, as a mother of, kids who are also being touched by this in many different ways. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye. Take care.
Bye. Bye.